Good morning. That's a terrible view. Lighting is not good in here this morning, and I'm running late. Let me get my computer synced up here, and we will get this show started. I was off work for a couple of days last week, and I came in this morning and I'm having computer issues. Isn't that the way it always goes? So, I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. Good morning, everyone who's coming in. I hope you had a wonderful, relaxing weekend and you're able to stay out of the heat if you're having heat like we are here in Dallas. We're in solidly encased in triple digits, and oh my goodness, I'm a born and raised Texas girl, never lived anywhere else. I'm acclimated to it, and I'm not even doing well with it this year. I'm guessing it's age. I don't know, but it is what it is, and I'm thankful for air conditioning, so I shouldn't complain, huh? Let's see. Let me tell you, let me remind you that this week, 4th of July, is our Freedom 5K. If you can do it Wednesday, great. If not, just get it done sometime this week. If you have one of the Freedom 5K shirts, we would love to see a picture of you after you have completed your exercise challenge in your shirt. If not, just post a selfie of you showing us that you have gotten your exercise in. For those of you who are able to do a 5K, that's our challenge, whether it's walking, running, bicycling, swimming, whatever, however you choose to do it. If you have to break it up over the day, no problem. If you're one of our wonderful cheerleaders, yikes. Well, that was ugly. I have my phone propped up here, and it just did a nosedive. Hopefully it won't do that again. You just got to see the back of my computer. What was I saying? Oh, if you're a cheerleader, then we thank you for that. And it's possible to do both. You can exercise and you can cheer everyone else on. So that's this week. The Labor Day Challenge is still going on. And if you're new, those of us who have committed to reaching some goals by Labor Day, if you want to join us, then there's no particular way to, there's no sign up or anything. You just set your goals that you would like to achieve by Labor Day and get started on them. I'm working hard on mine. For those of you who know or have been following or care, I've been doing no sugar and no grains. Today starts my 4th week, so at the end of this week, I will have completed 30 days of no sugar and no grains. Am I doing it for Weight Watchers? Absolutely not. I'm doing this for health reasons. I suffer from chronic, or they call them cluster migraines, and so we're trying this to see if one of those, grains or sugar, is the trigger. And so at the end of the 30 days, I will gradually try adding those back in one at a time and see if either of those. I will tell you, and I promised that I would give you an update on that. I have not had a migraine, and I actually have not had a headache for the last 2 weeks, maybe a couple of days longer than 2 weeks, but for sure 2 weeks. And I'll tell you, I haven't gone that long without a migraine, and I don't even know how long. So I'm having good progress. Good luck with that so far. So we shall see. You may have noticed a prompt or a button, an option that popped up on Facebook in the last few days that says, thank you, Laura, that says join a live or start a live video watch with your friends. That's a feature that Facebook has enabled that we are not okay with in our group. We do not allow live videos other than this one for obvious reasons. People could come on here and start a live video and do anything, and there's nothing we could do to stop it until it's too late. So don't use that feature. I'll post on the board after I get through with this video reminding everyone that that is not permissible, and I'll just tell you that using it will get you booted. So please don't do that. Please don't post live videos. Please don't share live videos. They will get deleted, and you'll get your feelings hurt. And I'm sorry, but that's just not a feature that we choose to use here. So those are our announcements for the morning. I want to talk today about, I'm really excited about next week's subject, so I'm trying really hard to not tell you what I want to talk about next week. But this week's subject is obvious. It's freedom. And I think last year, I meant to go back and look and I just ran out of time, but I think we talked about freedom this time last year too. But I looked up, because you know me, I love definitions. So I looked up the definition of freedom, and it's the state of not being imprisoned. I like that, the state of not being imprisoned. So I started thinking about all of the ways before I lost my weight that I felt imprisoned by my health. Not just my weight, but my health. And I want to talk about those just briefly. I felt imprisoned with choices. I didn't feel free to choose the clothes that I really wanted to wear. I didn't feel free to choose activities that I wasn't able to do. I didn't feel free to choose exercises that I really wanted to try. I felt imprisoned in those areas. I also felt imprisoned or enslaved, I guess, to past decisions, things that I chose to eat that I was now paying the price for. I felt imprisoned by the number on the scale. I felt like it defined me, and maybe not to anyone else, because other people, including my husband, didn't know what I weighed. I would never let my husband know how much I weighed. I didn't even like for him to help with the laundry because I didn't want him to see the size in the tag in my clothes. That's prison. I also felt imprisoned by the opinion of others. I just knew that other people were looking at me and saying things like, well, she would be cute if she didn't weigh so much, or I have a sister who has always been trim and probably has never weighed more than 5 pounds over her ideal weight in her life. And I always would try, when we would do family pictures, to not stand next to her. I love her dearly, but I didn't want people looking at the picture comparing me to her and saying, well, they're sisters. How can one be so trim and fit and the other be so not? I felt imprisoned by that. I also felt imprisoned by my habit of avoiding mirrors. I would do everything in my power to not look in a mirror because I didn't want to see what I knew I looked like. So I wouldn't try on clothes at the store. I would buy them, bring them home, try them on in the privacy of my own bedroom, and more often than not, if they didn't fit, I wouldn't take them back because I didn't want to have to go back and admit to the sales clerk that I was returning them because they didn't fit. So I would either just put them in the back of the closet, or I would give them away, or, you know, something like that. Those things imprisoned me. So let's talk about freedom. Now I feel free. I feel free with my health. Physically, I'm able to do much, much more than I was before. I can walk. This weekend, I was with some girlfriends on a weekend getaway. We went and rented a cabin and took our sewing machines, and for 3.5 days just sewed and laughed and talked and relaxed. But one day we got out and went to lunch, and it was hot. And so we were walking, and I realized I wasn't struggling. I wasn't struggling with my breathing. I wasn't struggling with my walking. So I'm free from that, because that imprisoned me before. I'm free mentally. I don't beat myself up anymore. If I have a meal that's off my normal, I don't even want to say off plan anymore, because I plan my meals, even my cheat meals, or my indulgent meals. They're not cheats. I plan those. So I'm free to do that. So I don't beat myself up mentally anymore if I have an indulgent meal, because I planned it, I prepared it, I put thought into it, and I'm going to enjoy it. So I don't feel imprisoned by that guilt anymore. I like this one. I'm free from searching for the next great diet. Don't you get tired of that? I used to get so weary of every time somebody would talk about the newest fad diet, or the newest supplement that was mentioned on Dr. Oz, or, you know, something like that. I would rush out and buy it, or try it, or research it, or, you know, it didn't even matter if I was having success with what I was doing. If I saw on Facebook or a friend who, you know, had lost some weight, and they said, oh, well, I'm doing this XYZ plan, I would immediately be ready to try theirs. I'm free from that. I don't even care anymore when people talk about a new supplement or a new program or something. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm also free to move about. Remember I don't remember which airline it was, but one of the airlines had a slogan that said, you are free to now move about. We're free to do that. You aren't imprisoned to your recliner. How many hours have you spent sitting in that chair because you didn't feel like you could get up and do anything? Well, this gives us the freedom to get out of that chair. I may not be able to run a marathon. I may never be able to run a marathon, but I am free to take the stairs at work, or walk around a little town with my friends without huffing and puffing. I'm free to get on a bicycle if I want to. I'm free to choose clothes now that I feel like I look good in, rather than clothes that I feel like will best camouflage. Yesterday, I came home, and one of the moderators pointed out to me that someone had found and shared a video of me singing with my sisters. Well, I deleted it because, first of all, I want to thank you so much, and I don't remember who shared it, but thank you so much for your very kind words. I deleted it because videos are not allowed on our group page, and those apply to me too. But I noticed although I love that video because it's a treasured memory, I've never sang with my sisters before. We grew up in church. My dad was a pastor, and so we grew up in church, but they are much older than me. They were married by the time I was born. So we didn't necessarily attend church together, but we never sang in church together. So a couple of 3 years ago, they came to my church. All of my siblings did for a special anniversary homecoming day, and I had the privilege of singing with them a song that was from our childhood, and someone videoed it and shared it, and it's a precious memory of mine that I will treasure. But you know what I see when I look at that video was before my successful journey, this time with Weight Watchers, or it might have been in the middle, but what I saw when I looked at that video yesterday was I immediately knew the thought process that went into choosing what I was wearing that day, because I felt like it camouflaged the rolls and the hips, and I knew that my sister was going to be there, and she was going to be so beautifully dressed, put together so well, and I didn't want to look any frumpier than I had to. I'm so thankful that now, because of my journey with Weight Watchers, I no longer worry about that. Do I care about what I look like? Of course I do. And there are still outfits I put on, I think, okay, well, that's not flattering. But I don't feel like I have to hide behind my clothes anymore. I don't know what your freedoms are. I would love to see them. I would love for you to share in the comments what you feel like you are free from this year as opposed to approaching July 4th last year. Someone may be just starting out and they may not be feeling free from anything. So reading your comments may be what gives them the boost to get through. Maybe they're considering going off plan this week because of family get-togethers, and they don't think they can do it, so they'll just get back on after this is over. We've all done that, and I so encourage you to not do that. I never ever recommend giving yourself permission to go off plan and start over, because every time we start over, it's an uphill battle. And so instead, if you are going to be with family or friends for a cookout or something on the 4th, make the best decisions you can. Maybe give yourself permission to indulge on one thing, but the rest of the meal you track and you stay on plan. I would much rather see you do that than stop and start over. But share in your comments what you feel free from. Maybe even share what you're planning this time next year to feel free from. And I'll give you a little teaser. Our subject next week is going to be the 7 words that changed my life as far as my weight. 7 words that changed my life, and I think they'll change yours too. I'm not going to tell you what they are. We'll talk about that next Monday, so you can try to guess this week, see if you can come up with it. But I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope you get to have some precious, relaxing time with your friends and family. Don't forget to keep our friends in prayer who are battling and need us to lift them up. Those of us who believe in the power of prayer are continually doing that. And if you choose not to do that, then just keep them in your thoughts. They appreciate it, and I'm sure that it will make them feel better knowing that they have a truckload of friends who are thinking of them. So I'm anxious to read your comments and see what kind of things you feel like you are free from this year, don't forget to post those selfies this week after you have completed your exercise challenge. We so love seeing those. And I remember on our Memorial Day challenge, I remember seeing several people said they weren't going to do it because they didn't feel like they could until they started seeing all of the selfies coming in, and then they thought, I've just got to get on board with this. So please do those, and please share. This is a great big family, and we love encouraging and recognizing one another. So don't be timid, just jump in and welcome to the family if you're new. This really is a family. This is so much more than a Weight Watchers group. I'll even share with you that we have some members who are not doing Weight Watchers, and that's okay. They're watching their weight, and they're doing it their way and in a modified way, and I don't have a problem with that. Weight Watchers, I've told you before, is going to look different on all of us. It's not a one-size-fits-all plan. I think the Weight Watchers plan is first of all, I think it's an excellent plan. Obviously, it changed my life, but I truly believe that it is a suggested guideline that is scientifically proven, but can be modified to fit many different lifestyles. For instance, we have vegans who very capably and very well follow a Weight Watchers lifestyle. Well, that's going to look very different from someone who is very much a meat eater and does Weight Watchers. But they're all doing their version of Weight Watchers. So that's why when I see people kind of get a little pushy with their responses, and they'll say, that's not Weight Watchers. Well, it may not be your Weight Watchers, but it could be their Weight Watchers. So I try to keep that in mind when I respond to people. It's not going to look the same for them as it looks for me. So let's keep that in mind when we're responding to one another. It's much nicer, it's much more well received to say what I do or what I have found works for me is whatever, instead of saying you can't do this or you can't do that. Just try to keep that in mind. It's always in the delivery. The delivery makes a huge difference in the way we respond to one another. Okay, I'm going to get off of here. I've babbled long enough. I hope you have a wonderful, productive week. Be aware of the heat, but do your best to get some movement in, even if it's just walking around inside your house. Let's move. Let's see. I'll look at some of your comments real quick. Weight Watchers is a lifestyle, not a diet. Wanda, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't diet. I will not diet ever again. Let's see. Do you know how much I look forward to this every Monday? Oh, Fran, thank you. I so appreciate that. I hope it makes a difference. I hope something I say either motivates or encourages or maybe answers a question. But if nothing else, it just gives us a few minutes to join together and have a wonderful group of friends that we know we're not alone on this journey. So I hope that we all get a little bit of, I know I get something out of you every week. Let's see, what was I going to tell you? Oh, don't forget that Val has the exercise challenge going. So if you want to join on that, you can track her down and get information on that. I believe Terry, our moderator, is doing a no diet soda for those of you who are trying to kick that habit. So if you need more information on that, you can get that from him. I think that's all of the challenges going right now. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, and I will see you on the board. Bye, everybody.